Well, what we believe Carbon Wealth is bringing to the climate action effort is to give the world something else to burn. That's the simplest way to say it. We realize that after all of the fossil fuel emissions for 100 years or more, an enormous amount of CO2 is in the sky, and inside that CO2 is a very large amount of carbon. That carbon can be mined, brought back down, and used as a fuel to substitute oil, gas, and coal. So what we want to do is give the world something else to burn, because it will be using the existing infrastructure, all the millions of ovens that already exist. By putting something completely carbon neutral inside those ovens, we would stop emissions and can replace oil, gas, and coal. This would buy time for society to develop even further wind, solar, geothermal, which I think in many cases would need decades to come to full maturity and reach full scalability. And we cannot afford to be emitting oil, gas, and coal emissions during that entire span. We need to burn something else and give society a chance to reach a point where we don't need to combust for energy anymore. I think business has a very large role in addressing climate change, but I would like to add that I think even a bigger role can be attributed to individuals, because something that's often forgotten is that the fossil fuel emitters, like coal companies, who are often vilified for emitting a lot of CO2, they're actually making electricity for individuals who want refrigeration, they want to charge their iPhone. Society wants the product that they make, and it's made very cheaply. So I think that if you gave the coal industry an alternative, something else to burn that's carbon negative, they would immediately choose that. And that has to be done in a commercial way. It has to be cheap enough for them to switch without government policies and without having to count on anyone else. It just has to be cheaper, or as cheap as possible, and then they will switch. They will gladly switch. We decided to be involved with the SIF 2015 for two reasons. First of all, it was actually our target launch date for several years, unbeknownst to anyone, to launch sky mining as a concept, the act of mining carbon out of the sky and giving the world something else to burn. Secondly, we know that we want to and need to interact with other companies that have innovations that can help us in different areas. There's technologies that do cooling from renewable energy. There are many organizations here that provide financing for new solutions. So unless we work together and interact, there is no way to bring any one solution to mass scalability.